The U.S. and Canada sealed the deal on a new trade agreement on Sunday night, which, along with an earlier U.S.-Mexico agreement, opens the door to a rewrite of the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. The new deal, which was dubbed the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, is expected to be signed by the leaders of the three member countries, U.S. President Donald Trump, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto, sometime in November. The deal must also be approved by each country's legislature before it comes into force. Well, Peter Navarro, the director of the White House National Trade Council, said the new deal means NAFTA is dead. The USMCA still retains large swaths of the original deal. For instance, Canada scored key wins with the preservation of NAFTA's state-to-state dispute resolution system and cultural provisions that carve out a certain amount of the Canadian media market for domestically produced programming. But there are also some notable changes in the USMCA from the original NAFTA. From dairy market access to auto rules to a sunset clause, the three countries made notable edits to the 25-year-old trade deal. Here's a rundown of some of the key changes in the deal. Review clause. The USMCA includes a provision that requires a review of the deal in 6 years, and a 16-year expiration date. The deal can be extended at the 6-year review time. The review clause is less severe than the original demand of a sunset clause from the U.S., which would have forced each side to recertify the deal every 5 years in order to keep it in effect. Dispute settlement. NAFTA's dispute settlement system between governments will remain the same, a key win for the Canadians. The system allows member countries to bring grievances against other members over alleged unfair trading practices. The investor-state dispute settlement system, which allows investors to bring grievances against member country governments, will be phased out for the U.S. and Canada. Certain industries such as energy will be able to bring cases against Mexico. Dairy access. The U.S. will now be able to export the equivalent of 3.6% of Canada's current dairy market. This is up significantly from about 1% right now, but only slightly above the 3.25% market access Canada would have given the U.S. as part of the Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP), out of which Trump pulled the U.S. last year. In addition, Canada will get rid of the Class 7 pricing system that disadvantaged U.S. farmers. Access for other agricultural goods. Canada will give the U.S. more access to its chicken, turkey, and egg markets, and British Columbia will allow the sale of US wines at its state-owned liquor stores. Mexico agreed to allow imports of certain U.S. cheeses. Auto rules. NAFTA member countries must produce 75% of a car for them to pass through the country's duty-free, up from 62.5%. Additionally, 40% of each car must be produced by workers making $16 an hour or more to avoid duties. Tariff side deals. The U.S. came to side agreements with Mexico and Canada that would largely protect the two countries from possible tariffs on imported auto and auto parts. Canada would be allowed to ship 2.6 million cars to the U.S. tariff-free, well above the 1.8 million it sent last year, and send $32.4 billion worth of parts without getting hit by tariffs. Mexico's deal was similar, except the country can send $108 billion worth of parts. Commitment to not mess with currency levels. While the U.S., Mexico, and Canada do not actively intervene to strengthen or weaken their currencies, the pact to achieve and maintain a market-determined exchange rate regime could be a model for future agreements with countries that are more active in currency markets. Increase in the de minimis levels. The de minimis level is the amount of goods a person can take across the border without being hit with duties. Canada will increase the de minimis level for U.S. goods to $4 from the current $20 level. For cross-border shipment like e-commerce, the level will be boosted to $150. Mexico will also bump their de minimis level to $50 and duty-free shipments to $117. More, Justin Trudeau NAFTA North American Free Trade Agreement USMCA.